Dr. Ashutosh, are my slides visible?
Yes, yes, they are visible.
So, good evening, respected doctors, our distinguished panel of speakers, seniors, and colleagues. At the outset, I, Dr. Rajat Singhal, on behalf of Mankind Family, would like to take this opportunity to welcome you all to this webinar on therapeutic strategies in COVID 19. This would be followed up by a very important session where Mankind Pharma joins hands with Heartcare Foundation of India and IJCP to pay heartfelt tribute to the doctors martyred during COVID-19 pandemic in India. But before starting the agenda for today's meeting, let me take you through a journey of mankind with significant achievement to complete nearly 2.5 decades of great work, and which consistently deserves compliment is the leadership and the ability to stay abreast of time in all of this changing period of last 25 years. We started a journey in 1995, founded by the first generation of entrepreneurs, our chairman, Honorable Chairman, Mr. R.C. Juneja, with the vision of becoming the most admired pharma company in India. And keeping that vision in mind, today we are amongst the top five fastest growing pharma companies in India, with rank number one in terms of prescriptions and rank number fourth in terms of top line revenue, which is nearing approximately 1 billion US dollars. As a reliable and responsible healthcare partner, our commitment is always to provide the best quality healthcare products at an affordable price, keeping in mind the per capita spending in healthcare. Moreover, we have a very strong supply chain which makes our presence felt in every remote corner of the country. Launched in 1995, by 2008, we established a position as the number one player in India, with 53 brands placed in top five positions, out of which 21 were at the number one position. Our significant achievement during the last few years have helped us to build an organization and infrastructure that has led to spread our wings in the global markets. In 2013, we started venturing into exports and international operations, whereas we launched our US operation in 2017. In 2019, we got the US FDA approval of the plans for our finished dosage forms. Over all these years, we have well represented ourselves in almost all major therapeutic segments with leadership positions in many. We are among the top five pharma companies in India in anti-infectives, gynecology and women healthcare, gastroenterology, cardiovascular, and diabetes therapy areas. And we have been working on the innovations in formulations and dosage forms for drug delivery. One of the main factors behind the success of being the fastest growing company is also an operational excellence and strong supply chain, which enables us to reach highest coverage of 600,000 pharmacies and 400,000 healthcare professionals with a large field force of 13,000. Not only this, today mankind has made a strong footprint in research and development. Mankind's R&D center is located in Manesar, Delhi NCR, and this state-of-the-art research facility has a dedicated team of over 400 scientists involved in complex and innovative research. Some of our clinical research and biopharmaceutic capabilities include new drug discovery and research, advanced pharmacokinetic modeling and biostatistics, formulations and development, and clinical research. Dear doctors, it is with your patronage only that mankind has reached so far. Our endeavor to partner with the healthcare providers like you will help us to achieve the objective and mission of improved healthcare in India and abroad. Being a leading pharma company in India, Mankind Pharma has aspired to be recognized not just as a top brand in the revenue, but also in serving mankind and people through its CSR activities. Many of you might be aware that Mankind Pharma has been involved in the country's fight against the pandemic in several ways. The company has produced affordable medicines, donated ventilators, personal protective equipments, and medicines to the states most badly affected. And during the initial stages of the pandemic in the country, the company donated 51 crore rupees to the CM care funds of various states. The employees to join the effort by contributing 1 day's salary to the relief fund. The dedicated efforts of the police personnel in containing the spread of the coronavirus pandemic is has garnered respect from all quarters of the society. And towards the same, we have supported the families of the police personnel by donating 8.5 crore rupees. Very recently, Mankind Pharma also provided rupees 1 lakh each to Rama Sahu from Odisha, Jyoti Kumari from Bihar, Mr. C. Mohan from Madurai, Mr. Akshay Kotwa from Pune, and Devganya family from Wankla village, Surat. All these people have helped the community in their own way during the pandemic. Now, during the ongoing COVID-19 outbreak, we have lost many of our doctors and healthcare professionals and workers in the battle against the pandemic. We truly salute these martyrs and all the healthcare workers who have sacrificed their lives as frontline heroes, and their contribution to the society is commendable and incredible. We do agree that these losses are irreparable and irreplaceable, but we can always provide our support to their families by means of our efforts, whatever little it may be. Towards the same, in our endeavor of serving life and for a greater cause of humanity, Mankind Pharma initiated this event to pay tribute and homage to selected doctors from Maharashtra region in collaboration with Heartcare Foundation of India and IGCP by providing some financial support to their families. Now, it's my great honor and privilege to introduce our speaker and session moderator for this evening. He's none other than Dr. K.K. Agrawal. Dr. Agrawal is a recipient of 4 national awards: Padma Shri, Vishwa Hindi Samman, Dr. B.C. Roy National Award, and National Science Communication Award, and one state award, Delhi Hindi Sahitya Sammelan Sahitya Shri Award 2007, Doctor and Philosopher of Indian Culture. He has to his credit 3 Limca Book of Records. He is a gold medalist, TEDx speaker, and recipient of FICCI Healthcare Personality of the Year Award 2016. He is the president of Confederation of Medical Associations of Asia and Oceania. He is the president, Heartcare Foundation of India, and group editor-in-chief, IGCP Group. He is also the past national president and past honorary secretary general, Indian Medical Association, and past president of Delhi Medical Association and IMA New Delhi branch. Welcome, sir. And may I now request Dr. Agrawal to kindly start the session for this evening with his opening remarks, and by also introducing our chief guest for this evening. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Rajat, and thank you, Mankind, for this noble work which Mankind has initiated, and we are a part of it. This session comes from a deep heart within, because we are basically remembering the contribution made by the doctors. It could have been very easy for doctors to save themselves by saying, I'm not going to treat. But these are the doctors who were right in front, managed, gave their life so that people like us can know what the disease is and understand its management. My salute to you. Madam Prachi Sathe, our chief guest of today. She is the Director, Department of Critical Care Medicine in Ruby Hall Clinic, Pune. She is Honorary Professor, Department of Critical Care Medicine at D.Y. Patil Medical College. She is an International Fellow in ICU in Intensive Care Medicine, Royal College of Physicians, Edinburgh. She is a Fellow of Royal College of Physicians, London, ex-President of College of Critical Care Medicine, India, founder member and ex-vice president, Indian Society of Critical Care Medicine, recognized teacher and examiner for fellowship in critical care medicine by National Board of Examination, member of startup IIT Kanpur for mechanical ventilation innovation, and a council member, Deccan Education Society, Pune. So, Pranam, madam, uh, and I would request you to give your opening remarks before I start the session. Dr. Prachi Sache.
Thank you so much, sir, for your generous words. I'm really privileged to be the chief guest for this program, which I wonder if I deserve. It is a great step forward which has been taken by Mankind Pharma and the senior doctors like you, Dr. Agarwal, to pay homage to our martyrs, to our heroes. I think 2020 was an unprecedented year with unprecedented pandemic of COVID-19. We are all witness to it, affecting every sphere of life and creating situations worse than wars. It demanded people to stand up to the situation like warriors. Healthcare workers, frontline workers like police, and sanitary workers stood up like pillars for our society. Healthcare system took the worst hit and the brunt. Junior and senior doctors, not only that, even the doctors who had retired came back to work. Nurses, support staff, everyone equally getting exposed to this deadly virus and getting affected before they could even understand what was happening while facing the war-like situation. They have been lauded all over. In India, too, from the honorary prime minister and president to common man, all of us have joined together on our Independence Day to say, as much as we remember with gratitude the sacrifice of our freedom fighters, the nation is indebted to all the doctors, nurses, and healthcare workers for being frontline warriors for COVID. And there is nothing less than this that we are going to express today while paying homage to the warriors. Today, Mankind Pharma has taken a laudable step forward to appreciate the martyrdom of these health warriors with joined hands and bowing our heads to appreciate their selfless services. Since this program is in Maharashtra, I would like to quote Kavivarya Kusumagraj, who has been a very famous poet in Maharashtra. Unknown martyrs he has lauded in this. अनाम वीरा जिथे जाहला तुझा जीवनांत स्तंभ तिथे ना कुणी बांधला पेटली न वात. अशा अननोन मार्टिर्सचं काम, त्यांचा त्याग आणि आत्मसमर्पण आणि पवित्र स्मृतीला वंदन करण्यासाठी आज आपण सारे जमलो आहोत. त्यांच्या कुटुंबियांचे नुसते अश्रू पुसण्यासाठी नव्हे, तर आम्ही तुमच्या बरोबर आहोत हा आधार आणि विश्वास देण्यासाठी. धन्यवाद. May I request you to carry the program forward? Thank you, Dr. Agarwal.
Thank you, Prachi ji. When I deal with Maharashtra, it looks me back at home. For 8.5 years, I am a student from Sevagram Vardha, MGIMS, and I am a MBBS and MD from Nagpur University.
Oh, right.
So it
That
looks
is nice
like
to
for
know.
me that I am back to Maharashtra whenever I talk to. And so coming back to the subject,
Yes.
the subject is strategies for COVID-19 management.
Yes.
I will take it up with the slides, and first, my salute to all these doctors, and I send my prayers, silent prayers, to all of them, wherever they are. Many of them maybe now many months old and taken a rebirth. Keep doing good job wherever you are. So I'm going to come back to how do we decide a treatment. There is a procedure for deciding a treatment. So the treatment is, we say FDA approved or we say DCGI approved. Then we say is widely used. It may not be approved, but widely used. Ivermectin in India is widely used. Doxycycline in India is widely used, may not be approved for a particular indication. The third is there is a promising evidence. So fourth thing is that there is a tentative or mixed evidence. Next is not promising. And the last one is pseudoscience or fraud. So these are the 6 categories of emerging therapies. Whenever we talk about emerging therapies or therapeutic strategies, we talk about in these senses. Before I go further, these are the 3 drugs apart from vaccines, because here vaccine also will come into a therapeutics now because you are preventing something. So the Regeneron's antibody cocktail, November 21, an antibody treatment, and that is Bamlanivimab in November 10, Remdesivir October 23, and Eli Lilly's antibody therapy halted on October 13. These are last 2 months basic headlines. But let me come back to what are the choices with us. So our choice is to block the virus. To block the virus is first option. Block the virus in the nose at the level of nasociliary junction, give him zinc. Do not allow the virus to enter in, give povidone iodine. When the virus enters into ACE2 receptors, block that, upregulate ACE2 receptors by vitamin D. We have TMP RSS, that is transmembrane protein. You can block them with bromexin. You can block them with zinc. You can block them with ivermectin. Then there is a virus, it starts replicating, you need RDRP. You block that RDRP by favipiravir or remdesivir. So these are the options with us as far as blocking the virus is concerned. Let's see one by one. Remdesivir, WHO says no, but US says yes, India says yes. It is a promising, FDA approved, evidence in cells, animals, and humans, already approved. So remdesivir can be given early enough when the virus is replicating and dangerous to life. Injectable, that's the side effect. Favipiravir, tentative or mixed evidence, evidence in cells, animals, and humans. And now this can be given early enough, if given early enough, because it has a mechanism of action which starts after 72 hours. So must be started on day 1, day 2. This is a promising antiviral, and that is molnupiravir oral. This is the oral available now, it's going to be available. Most of the studies says that it is better than remdesivir. So if this drug comes and proves out, it will replace remdesivir all over, because this is oral, that is injectable. This is 1 tablet in morning and evening. Then can we also give a recombinant ACE to patients, tentative or mixed evidence and evidence in cell? This is experimental, promising results in experiment. Ivermectin is now antiviral, tentative or mixed evidence, evidence in cells and humans, I would say, comes into the popular category because it is supposed to block the coronavirus in cell cultures. At this moment, this is the most popular drug being used than remdesivir and favipiravir. Oleander Kaner, which is a product, this is a herb available in India and many parts of the world. This is called oleandrin, taken out from that, supposed to have a good potential. And the Phoenix Biotechnology investor said, and later on, I mean, there are controversies, but this is a drug, a compound produced by oleander shrub, tentative or mixed evidence and evidence in cells. Lopinavir and ritonavir failed, but nobody knows that if it is given at a stage when CD4 cell count is low, will it be effective? Nobody knows. But it has been taken out of the protocol. Hydroxychloroquine, not promising. Evidence in cells, animals, and humans. As an antiviral effect, it has failed. But nobody has done a trial for its anti-inflammatory action and anti-diabetic action in COVID-19. Now, these are the antiviral actions. To that gets added Calmake, herbal compounds in India. To that gets added other antiviral properties of many herbs, which claim that they are also having antiviral effect. So the drugs which are at the moment used are ivermectin. People also use doxycycline as an antiviral. That is the most commonly used but not approved. And people also use in India is remdesivir and favipiravir. Now this is one option with us is antiviral. Second is why not give them a ready-made immunity? Why not give people a ready-made immunity instead of allowing the body to produce immunity? Why can't I give a immunity to themselves, convalescent plasma? So I can take a plasma of a person between 28 and 40 days and give it. A ready-made antibodies I'm giving, and given if early will only help. ICMR says no, government says yes. Monoclonal antibodies is when the convalescent plasma is taken, it is a mix of billions of different kind of antibodies, out of which for 79 diseases, FDA has approved different types of monoclonal antibodies. And if I take these, if I clone or synthetically produce these antibodies that will work, this is going to be the future. WHO says the future lies in monoclonal antibodies. Monoclonal antibodies, two drugs, that is, these two drugs which I have written, imdevimab along with other drug and bamlanivimab has been approved by US FDA to be given for mild cases as an these are the drugs which were also received by the Donald Trump antibodies. Then why can't I give directly interferon, which is given in multiple sclerosis, Hep C? Why can't I give Hep B? But I can't give it interferon. Injectable was ruled out, but humoral and subcutaneous form have shown promise with that. So therefore, these are the options for me to give these patients a ready-made immune system. Again, lots of hubs comes here, which can give a similar type of an action. The third thing which now comes is I have now given antiviral and I have given the ready-made antibodies. This is in the viral phase, which is the first 2, 3, 4 days. On the first day, gamma interferon is produced. On second day, I have polymorphs response, PL ratio changes. By third day, I have production of IL-6, IL-1 beta, TNF blocker. I have stimulation of arachidonic acid pathways. I have stimulation of nuclear factor kappa B pathways. All pathways are initiated by day 4. And by day 7, I have this friendly fire converted into an open fire. Can I close this friendly fire? मेरे घर में जो आग लगी हुई है, can I suppress that fire, which is called inflammatory phase? I call them as immuno-inflammatory phase and thrombo-inflammatory phase. What are the options with me? I have dexamethasone, prednisolone. These are the two drugs with me. Methylprednisolone. In low dose, they work like immunomodulator. Remember, immunomodulator and not immunosuppressant. They have totally changed the game if given at the first onset of when you say the fire is out of proportion. The fire out of proportion is CRP more than 10. If the CRP is less than 10, it's a friendly fire. But if the CRP is more than 10, or if you can demonstrate the fever more than 101, which cannot be explained by IL-6 or TNF, which means IL-1 beta has come, which means NLRP pathways has come. In that particular situation, I need dexamethasone. Normally, steroids work at the level of TNF alpha through PLA2 pathway. So dexamethasone early enough has changed the practice. In all my doctors, early not giving early corticosteroids can lose their life because they have very high viral overload. Some people are saying, why not I give cytokine inhibitors? Now, these cytokine inhibitors, uh, so some people say, why can't I give cytokine inhibitors? There are options available. Can I block one cytokine? So can I give infliximab to block the anti-TNF monoclonal antibody? People are working on it. Can I block two cytokines? Can I block multiple cytokines? These are called JAK-STAT pathway inhibitor. This is a JAK1 inhibitor, and that is baricitinib. This is going to be the game changer amongst doctors who are having very high viral load. In such cases, 4 milligram oral soluble baricitinib tablet may make all the difference because this will block the Janus 1 pathway, the JAK-STAT pathway, will not allow any cytokines to be produced. So I have a lot of hope in baricitinib. Then we can have a lymphocyte trafficking inhibitor. We can have lymphocyte retention inhibitor. We can say lymphocyte not allowed from lymph node to inhibitor. And then comes this increasing anti-inflammatory cytokine and small molecules. These are oral therapies. These are small molecules. So these are the potential therapies people are working, out of which baricitinib now is available. And you cannot, it is something like if a patient says that nothing is working, then you say, have you tried baricitinib? He says, no. Then we say, try it. So these are called as cytokine inhibitors. These are called as cytokine inhibitors. And this baricitinib has an emergency FDA emergency use authorization also available in India. Then why can't I use like a dialysis and filter out all the cytokines? When we have filter, why can't I filter out the cytokines? Yes, Cytosorb is one company who is providing blood filtration system available in India. I have seen a couple of my patients in the south are on Cytosorb, which is a machine which clears all the cytokines from the body. Why can't I use stem cells? The answer is mixed evidence, but as on today, the answer is no, but people are still working on stem cells. So now we come back to, so we have done suppression of immunity. Now we come back to other treatments. What are the other possible treatments from this? Prone positioning is now one of the most important things. Ask them to do a prone positioning. We have ventilators as a therapy, specifically BiPAP and high flow nasal cannula. And then comes as anticoagulants, the game changer. Dabigatran, rivaroxaban, and apixaban are the game changers as far as anticoagulations are concerned. They must be given early and persisted at least in the post-COVID phase. Then comes his immunity boosters and immunity modulators, vitamin and mineral supplements, tentative or mixed evidence, but widely used. Widely used. Remember, Trump was taking zinc, vitamin D in his treatment. So that means vitamin C. So here comes the role of zinc. All over you can see zinc, 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 zinc. At every place, zinc is there. You cannot treat a patient without zinc. You cannot treat a patient without vitamin D. You cannot treat a patient without, these are the areas where melatonin works. So if you want to give a sedative, give melatonin. And without a vitamin D, you cannot treat a patient because it works at the level of reducing lung inflammation. You cannot have a oxidative stress management without vitamin C. Vitamin C works at every particular level. Remember, we need a drug to suppress the virus, but we also need a drug to take away the virus from the virus debris out. And there comes the role of vitamin C in this particular thing. Now, when we talk about others, we have in others mefenamic acid, NLRP inhibitor, much better than paracetamol. Colchicine as IL-1 beta inhibitor, B12, because most of the people are having post-COVID cognitive dysfunction. Melatonin, because it takes away and takes care of your body's circadian rhythm. Carnitine, if the patient has persistent fatigue. B6 for fatigue, and folate because during this time we have washed our vegetables so much that folic acid is being lost from the circulation.
So would you
That
be
comes back
sharing?
is the last one is the pseudoscience. In pseudoscience, we talk about not to be used drinking or injecting bleach and disinfectants, UV light, silver, in various things. So coming back to
So would you be
my God,
sharing slides also?
I forgot because I thought I was sharing the slides.
Yeah.
My mistake. So I will send the slides to you because it's my computer mistake. I thought I was speaking from the slides, sharing the slides. So I can share the slides for the people who are using this. It's my mistake. And to all our people, we can send them the slides. So these are emerging therapies. These are you. All of those who are watching this program can later on take screenshots, and I will make sure these slides are sent to you by Mankind. Then we have blocking the virus. We have remdesivir, favipiravir, molnupiravir, recombinant ACE2, ivermectin, oleander canair, liponavir, ritonavir, hydroxychloroquine, and chloroquine. Then mimicking the immune system is the classification, convalescent plasma, monoclonal antibodies, interferons, putting out the friendly fire, anti-inflammatory, dexamethasone, we have baricitinib, we have cytokine inhibitors, we have blood filtration system, we have stem cells, and then we have other treatments. We have prone position, ventilators, anticoagulants, immunity, vitamin and mineral supplements, zinc, ACE2, this is melatonin, this is vitamin D, vitamin C, this is vitamin C, and others is mefenamic acid, colchicine, B12, melatonin, carnitine, B6, and folate. Now, a few words about why Mankind is supporting COVID warriors. A kind is the word in their company's name. They are a company believed on kindness. And when I got associated with them, and I found that they are absolutely present everywhere in COVID-19, whether it is one day salary, whether it is looking after the martyrs, whether it is looking after the police, whether it is looking after the CM fund, everywhere they are present. Being present in their pharmaceutical COVID provider is a separate issue. They may have ivermectin, they may have zinc, they may have favipiravir, they may have Calmeg as an Ayurvedic therapy, whatever they may have, but their contribution to the society for COVID-19 cannot be forgotten. Dr. Rajat.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insights into the therapeutic strategies of COVID-19. I think it will help all of us, the doctors who have joined, and even the families of the doctors for the routine prophylactic vitamins and everything what you have told. I would also request Dr. Prachi, who is a chief guest for this evening, to share her insights and her comments on the same. Madam, your comments, please.
That's right. Dr. Agarwal, I must congratulate you on this all encompassing presentation because it was a completely new disease, new disorder, and nobody was aware how to treat this virus. And even over 1 year, we have seen so many different treatments emerging and fading off. Every time the new medicine came, we thought that it is going to improve, it is going to survive the patients, and then it went off. But the way you have taken the whole, encompass the whole development is phenomenal. I just hope that with the new developments, we will find some really effective remedies and mankind also will take it forward. But the most important development, I think, is the development of vaccine. And we are all eagerly waiting for that. And of course, what is in our hands is the preventive strategies. And even though there is a vaccine, even though there is a treatment, we should never ever be letting the bar down for the self protection. So we can proceed further for the program. Dr.
Thank,
Rajat.
thank you so much, ma'am. And I'll share my slides again because now we move on to the most important part, I would say, of this evening, and we will pay homage and tribute to our COVID martyred doctors. So let me share my slides once again. Right. So now we move on to the tribute giving to the COVID martyred doctors. And I would request our chief guest, Dr. Prachi, to take this session forward. Over to you, madam.
Thank you so much. It really breaks my heart to start this session. At the same time, it makes me feel very honored and proud of my colleagues who have stood the test of time and have given their life sacrificed to save our citizens, the whole mankind. Many doctors doing continuous duties in isolation ward, isolation ICUs, and not even meeting their family members for the fear of carrying the infection home, they stayed away from the families themselves. A huge sacrifice they made. And our first person whom we are going to pay homage to is Dr. Rajendra Bhaskar Kothavde. He was head and director of Shivkrupa Hospital, Palse, Nashik. 35 years of experience he had. He has received Prabhak Bhushan Award for his work. He did not use to take fees from poor people. This is really so remarkable. He was famous for free treatment and low cost treatment for poor and needy people in small villages near Palse, such as Bhableshwar, Mohagaon, Vadgaon, Nanegaon, etc. So I really join hands to pay homage and I request everyone to do that. This award is a receipt of good work of Dr. Rajendra Kothavde for serving the society and mankind. The doctors worked very hard. The doctors, despite their age, came back to serve mankind. The work started, and on top of that, there was shortage of face masks, there were shortage of shields and PPEs. The real stories of the doctor heroes are really inspiring and touching the sensitive minds. Hope we are going to learn as a society to be ever grateful to all these doctor heroes who worked relentlessly to improve our healthcare systems. The next doctor whom we are going to pay homage to is Dr. Ravindranath Ranganath Tongaonkar. He is from Dhule, Dodaicha, Maharashtra. He was an eminent senior surgeon with more than 56 years of experience, chairperson of WHO Lancet Commission on Global Surgery. On Indian Forum, he had won the award, Kingsworth Award at Doha, Dr. Anandibai Joshi Award from government, and he was past president of surgeons and many more awards. He was known as Surgeon for Poor. He follows Gandhi Vichardhara. He was member of Maharashtra and Andhashraddha Nirmulan Samiti as well. His help will contribute to the dream of Dr. Tongaonkar. We come to the next doctor, and I wish at least to honor the lives which have been sacrificed in this COVID, the irresponsible behavior of the citizens and should go away, and ultimately holding the doctors ransom despite their irresponsible behavior should change. I'm sure it will change, because healthcare workers and doctors have proven that the courage above all the things is the first quality of warriors. So he is the next warrior, Dr. Babulal Narsaya Nakod. He is from Nasik, an eminent senior physician and medicine specialist with more than 54 years of clinical experience, Dhanvantari Award winner from Nasik IMA, service to senior people for more than 50 years. Doctor was known as doctor for workers and to an industrialist equally. I think this is the honor for doctor for his service, who served the public up to his last minute. Thank you, mankind. IMA, the Indian Medical Association, has published the list of 512 doctors who martyred during this war. The Lancet, an international journal, also has published articles talking about doctors world over who have done the sacrifice. Percentage of doctors and healthcare workers getting affected varied world over. The dentists, ENT surgeons, frontline workers like emergency departments and ICUs, all were amongst them. Initially, they were unprecedented. Later, it was noticed that they were working under tremendous pressure, many long hours without breaks, inability to eat or take breaks, even to drink water because of peace, not getting safe, adequate quarantine period or enough sleep due to shortage of manpower, lack of ventilation at working places, poor quality of PPEs, and hot environment made it not less a treacherous environment to work for as much as our brave hearts who are working in deserts and Siachen. So these are real martyrs. And I come to the next doctor to be remembered and pay tribute to, Dr. Kalpesh Prakash Wagh. He also is from Dhulia, Maharashtra. He was a medical officer in rural hospital, Songir, Dhule, having 7 years of clinical experience. He worked at Songir in government hospital in spite of having good opportunities outside. He became a famous surgeon in short time. And this program, we are really paying tribute to Dr. Wagh. We come next to Dr. Vijay Hiremat. For the first time, the society at large came to know about the category of doctors called intensivists and the importance of well-trained doctors working in ICUs. There was shortage of ICU beds, isolation beds for critically ill, and lack of life-saving ventilators and oxygen. तहान लागल्यावर विहीर खणणे म्हणतो, ही म्हण आपल्याला माहितीच आहे. अतिदक्षता विभागात रुग्णाला नातेवाईकांनाही भेटायला येत नव्हतं. अशा वेळेला आयसीयू स्टाफलाच त्यांना वैद्यकीय सेवा पुरवण्यापासून, जेवण भरवण्यापासून ते भावनिक आधार देऊन, शिवाय नातेवाईकांच्या शंका फेडणं, फोन्सना समाधानकारक उत्तरं आणि आधार देणं, यापर्यंत सगळं काही करायला लागत होतं. मला अभिमान वाटतो की आमच्या नर्सेस आणि डॉक्टर्स, इव्हन मामा मावशांनी सुद्धा अत्यंत जबाबदारीनं आणि आपुलकीनं काम केलं. आपल्या देशाचा मृत्यूदर जगामध्ये कमी ठेवण्यामध्ये या सगळ्यांचा मोठा वाटा आहे. इट्स नॉट ओव्हर व्हेन यू लूज, इट्स ओव्हर ओनली व्हेन यू क्विट, अँड ऑल दीज डिड नॉट क्विट. Dr. Vijay Hiremat, an eminent physician and medicine specialist with more than 24 years of clinical experience, we lost. He was considerate while charging his fees to the poor patients, also helped many of his associates in various fields financially for long hours and to become self-employed to start their own business. About his fitness and social involvement through sports, he was very well known, and in his professional friends and circle, he was greatly lauded. The next doctor we come to is again a very famous doctor, Dr. Chudaman Patil from Dhule. We are here expressing our gratitude towards Corona warriors who have risen above the limits of their duty to save lives and ensure availability of essential services. We all join our hands and bow our heads. Dr. Chudaman Patil was director of two hospitals with more than 30 years of experience. He had won various awards for presenting papers on national and international forum. He was working for poor people without charging anything. His video about diabetes and lifestyle is available on YouTube for you to check. He has a number of followers in his field of work. He used to help poor people and his teachers. 24/7 he was available towards his patients. He was a good sportsman and nice mouth organ player. So we really pay our tribute to Dr. Chudaman Patil, and we are with the family as well. The next doctor whom we remember is Dr. Umesh Khanapurkar from Bhusawal, Maharashtra. He was the director of Chirayu Critical Care Hospital, Jalgaon. He had 37 years of clinical experience. He had won Dhanvantari Award in 2006 by Bhusawal IMA. He also had received WHO appreciation for polio virus detection in Bhusawal. He was secretary of IMA at Bhusawal branch, and he was known for his work and his kind nature for children. We remember you fondly and we appreciate your work, Dr. Umesh Khanapurkar. हवेतून आणि श्वासातून पसरणाऱ्या या विषाणूचा संसर्ग झालेल्या रुग्णांना इंट्युबेट करून नळी लावून व्हेंटिलेटरवर घेणं आणि ते करत असताना स्वतःचं आयुष्य रिस्क करणारे सगळे डॉक्टर्स आणि परिचारिका यांना आपण नमस्कारच केला पाहिजे. भारतीय टपाल खात्यानं सुद्धा त्यासाठी एक विशेष टपाल तिकीट आणि कव्हर एन्व्हलप काढलं आहे. केरळच्या टपाल खात्यानंही यामध्ये पुढाकार घेतला आहे. The country's first philately material to honor corona warriors, risking their lives to keep people safe from the virus, is highly appreciated. On the back of the cover, there is a note about pandemic impact on people and salute for the selfless service by our corona warriors. So Dr. Bhaidas Wagh from Dhule, Maharashtra, he was assistant director of health services who retired as CMO MPJY government scheme, through which he served many a patients. He had 33 years of experience. He has got local awards like Dhanvantari Award. Work was his passion and he was workaholic. He continued to work after retirement as chief medical consultant for MPJY scheme for government of Maharashtra. He rendered his services to ensure the benefits of scheme reach to poor people who were needy. He always used to help all the needy and used to provide government aid to those who deserved it and desired it. And we come to Dr. Tambe Bharat Nana from Saswad. He was the ex-founder, ex-chairman, Purandar Medical Association, ex-former deputy mayor of Saswad municipality and president of Shankarrao Dev Ashram Trust. He had 50 years of experience. In 1980, he was the Best President Award, Lions Club. He won Vishesh Dhanvantari Guruvarya Puraskar, Purandar Medical Association. He was a special executive officer of Taluka Purandar. He was popularly known as Garibanche Doctor. Dr. Tambe, we really appreciate wholeheartedly your service to mankind. Our Honorable PM, Dr. Modi said, at the root of India's brave fight against COVID-19 is the hard work of medical community and our corona warriors. IMA also has given a statement saying that 512 doctors in India have lost their lives. IMA also has called them corona warriors, but just by calling them corona warriors on one hand is not sufficient. It should help to give the families and these doctors the benefits of martyrdom. It is the responsibility of the good governance to acknowledge the sacrifices made by these COVID warriors and their families and children. So, the next doctor whom we appreciate is Dr. Mohan Pandey, an eminent physician with more than 30 years of clinical experience. He is from Pune, always ahead of social cause. He daily used to go with a medical van to rural area and small villages to provide medical service even to the poorest of the poor. Last year also he provided service to people in Sangli floods. He was a good doctor with perfect diagnosis, and he also was a good singer, and people appreciated him. अनेक डॉक्टर्सनी अतिशय स्पृहणीय कामगिरी केली. रिटायर झालेले डॉक्टर्स पुन्हा कामात झोकून द्यायला सरसावले. असं म्हणतात. The successful warrior is an average man with a laser like focus. So you don't have to be any great renowned doctor to be a COVID warrior, but the common man as a doctor who served the patients and the society at large. The sacrifice of doctors and healthcare workers across the globe will not be forgotten. It will not go waste. Humanity will always be grateful to them for what they are doing during these unprecedented times. We pay our respect for our healthcare professionals. At least I hope the respect has increased many folds in the hearts of people during these pandemic times. It is good to see that the government of India and all the governments worldwide have decided to allocate more budget for healthcare systems and infrastructure. Our warriors were fighting to win, saying, I don't know how I'm going to win. I just know I'm not going to lose. With that, I hand over to Dr. Rajat again to take the program forward.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was indeed a very good session, and I would like to thank you for, showcasing that what actually these doctors have done for the society. This is unparalleled, and no words. There are no words to express their sacrifice.
Yes.
We also have a few family members from the COVID martyrs doctors family, and I would request Dr. Ravindra Hiremat. He is the elder brother of Dr. Vijay Hiremat to share his thoughts. Dr. Hiremat, if you could share your thoughts. Please unmute yourself, sir. Please unmute yourself. Your microphone is on mute. Dr. Hiremat, can you hear us? I feel there is, we can see him, but probably his microphone is not getting unmuted. Can you unmute yourself, sir? Right. So, meanwhile, Dr. Hiremat unmutes his microphone. We request Mr. Nitin Nakod. He's the son of Dr. B.N. Nakod. Mr. Nitin, if you could share your thoughts on this occasion.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I am Dr. Dilip Gurule from Dr. Nitin Nakod, sir.
Right.
I am a president of Senior Doctor Association.
Right.
Dr. Nakod, sir, is a MBBS doctor. He is working from last 50 years.
Right.
50 years working in Sinnar. Sinnar is a rural area. Doctor is a very hard worker. He, sir, मराठीत बोललं चालेल का?
हाँ, मराठी में बोलिए आप प्लीज. मराठी में
अगदी
बोलिए.
चालेल, जरूर बोला.
हाँ जी, मराठी में बोलिए.
सर, नाकोड सरांबद्दल किती सांगितलं तर कमी पडेल. सर हे, हॅलो.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes. सर हे सिन्नर सिन्नर तालुक्यातील सर्वात पहिले MBBS डॉक्टर आहेत. सरांनी 50 वर्ष सेवा गरिबांसाठी, रुग्णांसाठी एकदम माफत दरात, म्हणजे मला सांगायला अतिशय आनंद होतो. सर 10 रुपये 20 रुपये तपासणी फी घ्यायचे आणि अत्यंत कोरोनाच्या बिकट परिस्थितीमध्ये सरांनी एकही दिवस दवाखाना कधीही बंद केला नाही. सकाळी 10ला ओपीडीला आले तर संध्याकाळी 7 पर्यंत सर कंटिन्यू ओपीडी सांभाळत राहिले. सर हॅलो सर
बोला
बोला
बोला.
बोला बोला.
सर हे सिन्नरच्या सर्व डॉक्टरांचे आणि त्यांच्या फॅमिलीचे अतिशय उत्कृष्ट आधारस्तंभ होते. सरांना 2 मुलं आहेत, एक मुलगा MDS आहे, दुसरा व्यावसायिक आहे आणि एक मुलगी आहे. त्यानंतर सरांना डॉक्टर BC राय पुरस्कार मिळालेला आहे. सरांना सिन्नर भूषण पुरस्कार मिळाला आहे. सरांनी सिन्नर मध्ये ज्या काही गोष्टी केल्या असतील त्या अतिशय, म्हणजे सरांचा 50 वर्षापूर्वीचा दवाखाना आणि आजचा दवाखाना, एकच टेबल 2 बाक आजही तसेच आहेत. म्हणजे सरांनी कधीच पैशाचा हाव घेतला नाही, कधी मागे लागले नाही. आणि विशेष म्हणजे ती जागा 50 वर्षापूर्वी भाड्याने घेतलेली होती, ती आजही भाड्यानेच आहेत. मी सरांबद्दल एकच सांगू शकतो का सर हे आमचे पितृतुल्य असून यामुळे आमचा सिन्नर तालुका अतिशय पोरका झालेला आहे. आणि सरांच्या व्यक्तिमत्वाला आमचा सर्व डॉक्टर परिवार, नाकोड सरांचा पूर्ण मुलं असतील, मुले असतील, नातवंड असतील, सर्व हा पोरका झालाय. मी एक म्हणू शकतो सरांसाठी, होतील बहु जातील बहु, पण ह्या सम हाच. आणि पुन्हा एकदा मॅनकाइंड फार्माची टीम, अग्रवाल सर, साठे मॅडम आणि धर्माधिकारी सर, कुटे सर, मेडिकल कम्युनिकेशन ग्रुप यांचे मी नाकोड परिवाराच्या वतीनं आणि सिन्नर डॉक्टर असोसिएशनच्या अध्यक्ष या नाथाने आणि संस्थेच्या नाथाने आभार मानतो. धन्यवाद.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your thoughts. And we now request Dr. Rupali Tambe. She is the daughter of Dr. Bharat Nana Tambe. Dr. Rupali, we welcome you, and we would request you to share your thoughts for your father. Dr. Rupali, are you there?
हॅलो.
येस डॉक्टर रुपाली, बोला बोला.
हा, मी डॉक्टर तांब्यांची मुलगी बोलतीये. पप्पा एक कोविड योद्धाच होते. अत्यंत गरीब परिस्थितीतून स्वतः कष्ट करून शिकलेले आणि त्यांच्या गावातून सगळ्यात पहिली व्यक्ती जी शिक्षित झाली त्यामध्ये पप्पा होते. डॉक्टर LCH केलं त्यांनी, ते सुद्धा एका डॉक्टर मुजुमदार यांच्याकडे राहून काम केलं आणि स्वतःचं शिक्षण पूर्ण केलं. त्यानंतर अलिबागला ते मेडिकल ऑफिसर म्हणून होते. 1970 साली ते सासवडला आले. 14 एप्रिल 1970 त्यांनी सासवडला दवाखाना सुरू. तेव्हापासून त्यांनी जे रुग्णसेवेचं व्रत घेतलं ते अगदी म्हणजे 10 जुलै पर्यंत त्यांचं अखंडपणे 50 वर्षाची सेवा त्यांनी दिली. यामध्ये त्यांनी सेवा अतिशय म्हणजे कधीही वेळ काळ काही पाहिला नाही. सासवड परिसर खूप मोठा, जवळजवळ 100 खेड्यांचा परिसर होता. एवढा परिसर पालथा घालून व्हिजिट करून रुग्ण सेवा केली आणि त्यांचं डायग्नोसिस इतकं परफेक्ट होतं. म्हणजे त्या काळी तर इन्व्हेस्टिगेशन हा प्रकार नव्हताच, पण त्यांचं डायग्नोसिस एकदम परफेक्ट होतं. आज त्यांनी म्हणजे त्या काळी सासवड पुणे घाटामध्ये ऍक्सिडेंट झाला, तिथे जाणारे पहिले डॉक्टर म्हणजे पप्पा. त्यानंतर कॉलरा वॅक्सिनेशन केलं त्यांनी, कॉलरा एपिडेमिक्स असताना. आणि म्हणजे गरिबांचे डॉक्टर, गोरगरिबांचे डॉक्टरांमधला देव माणूस अशी त्यांची सासवडमध्ये आणि तालुक्यामध्ये त्यांची ओळख आहे, आजही आहे. त्यांनी सासवडमध्ये म्हणजे सासवडच्या जडणघडणीमध्येच खूप मोलाचा वाटा होता त्यांचा. सासवडमध्ये लायन्स क्लबची स्थापना केली, तिथे आय कॅम्प घेणं. डॉक्टर मस्कर म्हणून एक होते, जे मोबाईल त्यांचा दवाखाना असायचा की गोरगरीब लोकांसाठी, खेड्यापाड्याच्या लोकांसाठी ते सेवा द्यायचे. त्यांच्याबरोबर पप्पांनी सर्जरीज केल्या. ENT टॉन्सिलायटिसच्या सर्जरीज केल्या, कॅम्प भरवले, अनेक प्रकारचे चेकअप कॅम्प्स घेतले. त्यानंतर सासवड म्हणजे 70ला सासवडमध्ये आल्यापासून ते सासवड आश्रम ट्रस्ट चे संलग्न होते. कस्तुरबा मेमोरियल ट्रस्टचे ते सल्लागार होते. तिथे असणाऱ्या सगळ्या अनाथ मुलांना, त्यानंतर आलेल्या वृद्धाश्रमातल्या लोकांना, निसर्गोपचारच्या लोकांना त्यांनी मोफत सगळी सेवा पुरवली. त्या मुलांना म्हणजे फ्री ऑफ ट्रीटमेंट तर होतीच, पण त्याबरोबर त्यांना ज्याही गरजेच्या वस्तू लागायच्या, त्यांना कपडे असो, ब्लँकेट्स असो, स्वेटर्स असो, तिथल्या कितीतरी मुली त्यांनी दत्तक घेऊन त्यांना शिकवलं, लग्न लावले, त्यांचे संसार फुलवले. गावातली अनेक म्हणजे माझ्या माहितीप्रमाणे तरी 60 ते 70 मुलं असतील ज्यांना त्यांनी शिकवलं, त्यांना वेगवेगळ्या ठिकाणी नोकरी कामधंद्याला लावलं, त्यांचे संसार फुलवले. त्यांना म्हणजे त्यांचा दवाखाना संपल्यानंतर रात्री 9 ते 10चा पिरियड, 10-11चा पिरियड जो होता तो गावातल्या लोकांसाठी सल्लागार म्हणून होता. त्याच्यात गावातले लोक यायचे, त्यांच्याकडनं सल्ला घ्यायचे आणि त्याप्रमाणे त्यांनी त्यांचं जीवन जगले. सुरुवातीला जेव्हा सिंधुताई सपकाळ यांनी अनाथ मुलींना घेतलं दत्तक किंवा त्यांचं हे कार्य सुरू झालं, त्यावेळेला त्यांना जागा मिळत नव्हती. तेव्हा पप्पांनी आमच्या समोरचं विठ्ठल मंदिर आणि सासवड आश्रम इथे त्या मुलींची सोय केली आणि तिथून सिंधुताईंच्या सुद्धा कार्याला सुरुवात झाली आहे. त्यानंतर पप्पांनी नगरपालिका इलेक्शन हे केल्या, तिथे निवडून आले, उपनगराध्यक्ष होते. सासवडच्या आरोग्य विभागाची जबाबदारी त्यांनी स्वतःकडे घेतली. तेव्हापासून ते संत गाडगे बाबा अभियानमध्ये सासवड नंबर 8, सासवड शहर आज तागायत 1 नंबरवर आहे. संपूर्ण देशामध्ये सासवड नगरपालिकेचा क्रमांक लागतो स्वच्छतेच्या बाबतीत, त्याचं सुद्धा श्रेय पप्पांनाच जातं. असं इथे सोपानदेवांची समाधी आहे, तिथल्या मंदिरात ते ट्रस्टी होते. त्यानंतर इथे पुरंदर हायस्कूल मध्ये त्यांनी 10वी 12वी टेक्निकल कन्या शाळा सुरू केली. वाघिरे हायस्कूल मध्ये PG, त्यानंतर फार्मसी डिपार्टमेंटची सुरुवात केली. म्हणजे सासवडच्या एकंदर जडणघडणीत त्यांचा खूप मोलाचा वाटा आहे. पुरंदर नागरी सहकारी पतसंस्थाच्या ते संस्थापक मेंबर होते. त्यानंतर इंदिरा गांधी, सोपान काका बँक या सर्वांचे ते संस्थापक सदस्य होते. अशा अनेक त्यांनी फक्त वैद्यकीय सेवा केली नाही तर समाजसेवा केली. मी समाजाचं देणं लागतो आणि त्यामुळे मी फुल ना फुलाची पाकळी, माझ्याकडनं समाजाची सेवा झाली पाहिजे, त्यांचं ब्रीदवाक्य होतं, जे त्यांनी अगदी शेवटच्या दिवसापर्यंत निभावलं.
त्यांचं शिक्षण त्यांनी हुतात्मा कोतवाल यांच्या मार्गदर्शनाखाली घेतलेलं आहे. त्याच्यामुळे
स्वामी आणि सासवडमध्ये त्यांनी म्हणजे या सगळ्या त्यांच्या कार्याला आध्यात्मिक जोड होती. सोपान काकांची सेवा करणं, इथे चांगावटेश्वर मंदिर समिती ट्रस्ट वरती ट्रस्टी म्हणून होतेच. शिवाय सासवडमध्ये घरात एक खूप मोठा भाग त्यांनी स्वामी समर्थ मंदिर सुरू केलं. तिथे खूप लोकांना त्यांनी मार्गदर्शन म्हणजे ह्या सेवेमध्ये आणलं, आध्यात्मिक सेवेमध्ये आणलं. त्यानंतर सुद्धा त्या लोकांनी ही सेवा अखंडपणे चालू ठेवली आहे. पप्पा हे एक खूप आदर्श व्यक्ती होते. त्यांचं आणि हॅलो, थँक्यू मॅनकाइंड फार्मा. आपण सगळ्यात सुरुवातीला पुढे आलात, त्यांची दखल घेतली, त्यांच्या कार्याची दखल घेतली आणि त्यांचा उचित सन्मान केला. त्याबद्दल आम्ही तांबे कुटुंब आपले शतशः ऋणी आहोत. धन्यवाद.
Thank you, Dr. Rupali, for sharing your thoughts. I would now request Dr. Hiremat to share his thoughts for his brother, Dr. Vijay Hiremat. Sir, please.
Yes. Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am. I first of all humbly thank Mankind Pharma. Hello.
Yeah, you're audible, sir.
Hello.
Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I humbly thank Mankind Pharma for its noble cause, doing it for us. Vijay was like, for his last 24 years, he served in a village to serve the needy and poor people. So for that matter, his one work was to treat the patient, and along with that, who all are associated with him, how to help them to stand in their life. That was the noble cause he was doing. Right. And he was totally a social person. So he never used to say that I'm a doctor or don't introduce me like that. I'm one of you. I'm one of you.
Right.
So don't give me special treatment being a doctor like that. So that was his attitude.
He was very humble.
So, very humble, very humble. So you can say that, say from the assistant who was working with him, the compounder, and any big doctor, whatever it may be, he was a link between. If he cannot have it there in his clinic, he used to go personally, visit the big hospitals and take the patient from that village to the city hospitals. So
Right.
that much instrumental he was there. He was there.
Right.
So I really thank Mankind Pharma,
Thank you,
then
sir.
Art Care Foundation for appreciating his work, his dedication, and I am really thankful for taking care of a family in this tough situation, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hiremat, for sharing your thoughts. I
Yes,
would
sir.
now invite Dr. Rajesh Tungaonkar. He's the son of late Dr. Ravindranath Tungaonkar. Dr. Rajesh, if you could share your thoughts for your father, please.
Thank you, Mankind, for this award for my father. He is one of the first surgeon to start his work in Dhule district. After Dhule, he was the first surgeon before Dhule. He started his work in 1967, and he is actually the gold medalist in surgery. He stood first in all his first year, second year, third year, all subjects. And he got the GM Phadke prize from university for best outgoing student of the university. And his main work is mainly of hernia. He started his work in a small hospital of 4-bedded of his own. And just a second.
Yeah, you are audible, sir. You're audible.
Yeah. एक मिनिट. He is also receiving the Anandibai Joshi Award from Maharashtra government. His pioneer work was in cheap mosquito net hernia repair, which cost around 25 paise for patient. The routine hernia mesh cost around 1,000 rupees for routine inguinal hernia. He popularized his work all over India, even internationally. His name came in the Springer's abdominal hernia book as a bibliography in the bibliographical notes as a pioneer work for his mosquito net repair. Even WHO has given the cheap innovations for his hernia work as one of the cheap hernia this thing. Uh, Another work of his is again for the blood bank. In small areas there no blood bank, so we do a which is actually unbanked directed blood transfusion. We take a blood of the patient relatives and give that in case of emergencies. But this is actually not allowed by at present. But in case of emergencies, we can do this practice, and he's fight with all testing done with like HIV, Australian antigen, and all. But only thing is, he is not allowed by government. He's fighting with government for this work, and still we have put a PIL in Supreme Court for this unbanked directed blood transfusion, and he. Hmm? And he's also very active in Andhashraddha and Nirmulan Samiti. He worked with Narendra Dabholkar. He was vice president of Andhashraddha and Nirmulan Samiti. Then in Rotary, he is very active. We started the eye hospital in Dondaicha. Then a school, CBSE school in Dondaicha. We funded most of the for the school. And I thank Mankind for all the work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rajesh, for sharing your thoughts for your father. And I would now request Dr. Mohit Pandey. He is there with us. He's the son of Dr. Mohan Gajadhar Pandey. So, Dr. Mohit, if you could share your thoughts for your father, please.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am, and all the Mankind team to come in front and help the doctor's family at this current situation, wherein no one was aware about how many doctors were impacted, how many families were destroyed with this COVID pandemic situation. Once again, I would thank to Mankind team for the initiative coming ahead at the very first time, keeping a follow-up with the families and helping them on the right time at the right situation. I would say a few words about my father. My father was a BMS doctor. He started his practice from 92 when I was born, and he served all the needies and the patients till the end of the day of his life. At this pandemic situation, I remember my dad when I asked him, let's go to the clinic and get the test done or get the routine checkup done. He didn't have time for himself while serving the people around him. He used to go into all the small villages located in Sahyadri Hills near Siagar Fort. He used to go by the van all over the small villages and the rural areas. He used to provide his services with soul hearted. And he always said, uh, be simple, keep your thinking high, and help the needy at the right time and everywhere whenever you get a call or a message or a text. Always be there available for all the needies nearby you. And I would really thank Mankind once again for the initiative what they have taken at this COVID pandemic situation. Thank you, sir, for giving me a platform to talk about my father.
Thank you, Mohit. It was indeed very nice from your side to share such nice thoughts for your father. And I think we have come to the end of this program, but it indeed feels very sorry, first of all, for those warriors who have lost their lives. But on the other hand, I would say that it is their dedication and their hard work which truly justifies the spirit of being a doctor. That is what probably the society has forgotten over the last few decades, and people do not associate us with the same tag which actually should have been. And it is probably these warriors who will once again ignite that feeling in the common masses for us. And I think their sacrifice is unparalleled, and no words can defy that. So with this, we come to the end of this webinar. I would request Dr. Agrawal or Dr. Prachi to share their final comments before we can close. Dr. Agrawal, your comments, please.
I can only say one thing is that we are proud of them. To each one of them, I'm saying I'm proud of you. People come and go, but their good work always remains. I can assure you that everybody who has lost their life, we at Heart Care Foundation of India and IGCP with Mankind will keep them alive. We will make sure that their biodata or their acknowledgement and this video stays forever in our website and in the social media. So they will be remembered, they will still remain alive. Normally, every doctor is born with a special purpose, and their special purpose is working for the humanity. And Bhagavad Gita says, जो अपने कर्म करते हुए जाता है, कर्म करने का मतलब है the purpose of your life for which you were born, वो कर्म करते हुए अगर आप अपनी जिंदगी देते हो, उससे अच्छा मोक्ष नहीं मिलता. So if I see all these doctors, one thing is common. They all were with charity in my mind. They never bothered about कि कुछ हो जाएगा. उनका काम था मानवता. They never bothered for money. They never bothered, because I am literally touched when I'm seeing their biodata and I'm finding one thing is common is मानवता. जो लोग अपने मानव धर्म को छोड़ते हुए जाते हैं, उससे अच्छा मोक्ष हमारे भारतीय संस्कृति में नहीं है. उन सबको मेरा सल्यूट, उन सबको मेरा प्रणाम, उन सबको मेरा चरण स्पर्श. डॉक्टर प्राची.
Madam, comments from your side.
This is a very, very touching occasion. सर्व डॉक्टर्सच्या कुटुंबियांना माझा प्रणाम. सर्व डॉक्टर्स ज्यांनी स्वतःचा जीव लोकांच्या सेवेमध्ये काम करत असताना गमावला ह्या कोविडच्या साथीमध्ये, त्या सगळ्यांना आम्ही कधीच विसरणार नाही. एक आणखीनही लक्षात घेण्यासारखी गोष्ट आहे की हे डॉक्टर्स फक्त डॉक्टर्स तब्येतीचे नव्हते किंवा शारीरिक व्याधीचे नव्हते, ते संपूर्ण समाजाचे डॉक्टर्स होते. जसं डॉक्टर तांब्यांच्या मुलीने सांगितलं, जसं वेगवेगळ्या नातेवाईकांनी सांगितलं की हे सर्व डॉक्टर्स तन मन धन अर्पून सगळ्या लोकांचं आणि समाजाचं कल्याण व्हावं म्हणून झटत होते. So they were not the doctors only about the physical illness, but they were the doctors for the upliftment or improvement in the whole of the society, and their sacrifice will never be forgotten. The sacrifice of doctors and healthcare workers across the globe will not go waste. Humanity will always be grateful to them for what they have done and what they are doing during these unprecedented times. But we also request all the doctors to take care of themselves and take care of their own health as well during these pandemic times. The respect for healthcare professionals has increased many folds in the hearts of people during this pandemic, whom they have seen working very hard. It is good to see that the governments all over the world have decided to allocate more budgets and pay more attention towards the building up of infrastructure for health, which is going to go a long way for the improvement of the whole society and the whole mankind. So our warriors were fighting to win, and they will never be forgotten. There is a saying, I don't know how I'm going to win. I just know I'm not going to lose. With that, I pay homage to all of them, and I congratulate Mankind Pharma for organizing such an event and supporting the families. Thank you, Dr. Agarwal, being there. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Agrawal. But before we close, I would once again pay my homage and tribute to all the COVID martyrs, and their sacrifice will not go waste. That is one thing we can assure. I also sincerely thank all the family members of the doctors' families who have joined today. Thank you, one and all. And I would also thank all the family members and the doctors who have joined through their various forums on the media, social media. And I would thank each one of you for sparing your valuable time on a Sunday evening. But I think this was well deserved, and this was probably one of the most important webinars I have been a part of. So thank you one on all, and we end this webinar here.